Okay, welcome everyone to the live stream. Sorry again that I'm late as usual. I really try and make these as punctual as possible, but you know, life gets in the way. And anyway, here I am, a little late. Anyway, moving on. So today's topic, we're talking about open tunings, basically. I want to talk a little bit about open or alternate tunings. And this kind of came about from, I saw someone commented, a YouTube comment of someone saying that open tunings is cheating you and your audience. You know, I don't know who that person was. I don't know if they meant it as a joke or they meant it seriously. That's fine. It's their opinion. But I just kind of wanted to talk about it and get everyone else's thoughts on this. I think there's a lot of people that watch my channel that use alternate tuning, that don't use standard tuning. So we're going to kind of dive into this, and we're going to start by I'm going to tell you what we're going to look at in today's live stream. And by the way, you know, these are live streams. You know, these go on for maybe an hour, maybe longer. I don't know. I might not go on for too long on this one. Feeling a bit under the weather, let's say. But no, we'll see how it goes. But you know, I had some comments recently on a live stream. I think it's my last live stream actually. It's doing quite well for some unknown reason. And someone said, intro is too long, and after that it's all yap, yap, yap. Maybe they didn't realize that it was a live stream that they clicked on, you know. I mean, a lot of my live streams also look like YouTube videos, you know, so like normal YouTube videos. So maybe they didn't expect it to be so long, but you know, live streams are very different to a normal YouTube video, you know. I might just talk a bit longer as an intro. I definitely will be talking to people, answering questions and stuff like this. And so you know, it's just in case you clicked on this and you had no idea what it was. It's a live stream, you know. And if you want to watch something that's shorter, then I've got lots of YouTube videos that are a lot shorter. As usual, everyone, you know, fill up that chat, the chat bot, what do you call it? You know, the chat section, with comments and questions and anything like that. Let us know what alternate tunings you use, and you know what your thoughts are about them. By the way, I'm not only for alternate tunings and never use standard. I use standard as well, and there's plenty of amazing guitarists that just use standard tuning. You know, Tommy Emmanuel is one of them, and they make the standard tuning, you know, sound like an alternate tuning. So you know, I'm not saying that alternate or open tunings are better than standard tuning or anything like that. You know, I'm just opening the question. Here we go. So we're going to talk about today what are alternate or open tunings, why we use them, what the benefits are, what the drawbacks or negatives are, is it cheating, and does it even matter in the end of the day? So that's the kind of the topics we're going to talk about, and I'm going to be playing a few songs, probably answering questions. As I say, you know, feel free to ask any question related to anything in terms of what I talk about. You know, not saying anything. I probably can't answer most questions, but if it's related to what I talk about on my YouTube channel, then I probably can answer it. So, you know, go ahead and ask any question. You know, I just talk about, I create these topics just to have something to talk about on these live streams and not be doing the same kind of thing every week. So let's start with I'm going to start with a song. Let's do that. I'm going to start with a song, and then we'll get into it and the topics, and maybe then I'll start to look at the questions and everyone. By the way, well done to everyone that won the competition. I'll be doing more stuff like this. I'll be getting in touch over the next couple of days with everyone that won it. And, you know, I'll be doing more stuff like this, I feel. You know, different competitions, stuff like this. It's quite fun. Yeah, so we'll do... we shall... We'll start with a song. I'm in Dadgad here, so D-A-D-G-A-D. But I'm not going to be playing in D minor or D major on this one. I'm actually going to be playing in G minor. One of my favorite keys to play in Dadgad. I really do love this key. I'll put a little bit of little touch of reverb on the vocals before I start. Here we go. This is a song that I wrote. It's on my last album. It's called Cold Tea. Here we go. I'll just go for it. Gone cold and my feet have froze in this house. The gas spill rose to my fear. Far too old to take this cold. The winter has gone cold. The tea has gone cold. The tea has gone cold. The tea has gone That was Cold Tea. And you know when you get halfway through a song and then you realize you're playing it in the wrong key? That just happened. No, I usually play it a semitone higher. So, you know, it wasn't completely in the wrong key. I just usually have a capo on the first fret. But for vocals, it's a kind of a little bit easier for me. Yeah, so if you just joined us, then we are talking about alternate tunings, open tunings, alternate tunings. Anyone know the difference, by the way? Open tuning, alternate tuning. To me, an open tuning is something that is like maybe an open chord. Maybe it's not. This is a modal tuning, dadgad. So it's like a sus4 tuning. To me, that's an alternate tuning. Maybe an open tuning is more like something I would play on like my lap steel, or you know, something like D minor or D major or G major or something like this. You know. I don't know. I literally don't know. So maybe anybody can answer that in the questions. In the chat box. The difference between alternate or open tunings, but generally tunings that are not standard, that is what an alternate or open tuning is. It's something that is anything literally that is not standard tuning. So it can even be like drop D tuning, where you just put your E down to a D, right? That is what it is. And why do we use them? To me, I feel like we use them because it allows us to create more possibilities than it would do otherwise in standard tuning. It allows us to create more frequencies. It allows us to access different frequencies, a wider range. Let's say, it's like, because I'm in D, I wouldn't be able to access this D note if I was in standard tuning. I just wouldn't be able to access it. And likewise, if I go down to a C tuning, you know, and also the accessibility of the notes, especially if you're playing in a key that has a lot of these open strings. The fact that you can just use an open string and have that available to you as a note just creates a lot more possibilities. Also the range, you know, maybe you're having access to all these different notes, and is another reason why we use it. And also the kind of the flavor, you know, every alternate tuning, open tuning has a certain flavor, has a certain kind of sound to it, and that's one of the reasons why we use them, because it brings this flavor to our music, to our playing, to our song. So that's why we use them. That's why I use them as well. This is just speaking personally, you know. With all of this, I'm just speaking. Everything is my own opinion, obviously very biased, you know. But let me know in the comments below, you know, why you use them, how you feel about alternate tunings. So in a minute, we'll go through the benefits and the drawbacks. But I just want to take a quick look at the comments here. 1 second. I've got this program set up. Bum bum bum. Oh yeah, we got lots of people in. Many Vibes is here. Scott James Watson is here. Hey Scott. Rec Amp. Never seen you before. Welcome to the live stream. Hi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much. Just make sure that oh, many vibes. Yeah, there was a competition. But it was advertised to my email subscribers. So, but I'll be doing more of these. Don't worry. So, but the best thing to do is to sign up to my email community. So if you go in every video, I have a link where you can sign up. So that it wasn't really advertised massively outside the community. That's why maybe you didn't hear of it. But there'll be more coming up. Don't you worry. Don't worry. And didn't go on for very long as well. It was just a week. Maybe I'll do some more competitions that last a bit longer with different things, you know. So I want to set up a Here we go. Connection successful. Okay, so I'm using this program that basically allows me to see all the questions. So if you ask a question, make sure you put a question mark by it. Not that you wouldn't, but you know. And then it kind of allows me to see. Have you tried Pierre Benson Dadgad strings? No, I haven't. I haven't actually tried them. I heard that he had these strings, but no, I haven't. Loudon as well. Loudon themselves do strings as well. I think they also do strings that are set up for Dadgad as well, which I quite like to try. On my lap steel, I use different gauges. I use like a medium gauge, and then on the first two strings, I use basically a heavy gauge, which is like 14 and 18 on the first two strings. But that's for lap steel and slide. You know, it's always nicer to have thicker strings when you're playing slide. But no, I haven't tried them. Have you tried them? That would be definitely interesting to see. Maybe that's something for a video, to try these strings that are for Dadgad. I mean, I know Loudon do them, Pierre Benson. I don't know if they did them together. I don't know. Competition winners. What competition? Yeah, I answered that. Yeah, be doing more. I'll be doing more. Don't worry. Do you have heavier gauge strings when I tune down? No. I don't. I thought about this, especially if I'm tuning down to C. I don't. I kind of tend to use medium gauge for that reason, that it's kind of a nice middle ground, that it's not, the tension is not too much when you're playing in standard, but it also, you know, it's not like wobbling out of tune when you go down to C. But I think if I wanted to do like go down all the way down to like B or something like that, then I probably maybe would use heavier strings. I don't know. It depends, because obviously you want something. If I'm just taking one guitar with me to a gig, you know, I want something that I can put in lots of different tunings, you know. And if I have really heavy gauge strings, then getting that up to standard tuning is sometimes, you know, the tension is a lot. For a little while I was using heavy gauge strings, so that's 14. I don't know what 14 to something. I can't remember now. And that was D'Addario as well. But they're I don't know. I just found them too heavy. Um, it was almost too much tension when I went up to standard tuning. Christopher says, "Good evening, Fabian. Using open tuning is cheating." Well, obviously not. That's not the case. You can play open tunings very complicated. That takes. Let's take Pierre Benson as a reference. Yeah, I mean Pierre. He takes alternate tunings to a whole new level, and yeah, he plays it so he plays very little open strings. He's doing a lot of barring and this sort of stuff. So absolutely, you can play alternate tunings just like you play standard tuning, and vice versa as well. You can play a standard tuning and make it sound a lot like an open tuning. So I thought it was just interesting funny to kind of put that. If you see the thumbnail for this this live stream, put that person's comment on the thumbnail. I thought everyone might have an opinion to say about this. Yeah. Cool. All right. So that's all the questions so far. So as I say, make sure you put a question mark after your question. So I just want to kind of go through, because I don't. I'll be honest with everyone. I've got a killer headache. I think it may be the weather change. Did anybody suffer from this when the weather changes, like extreme weather change? Like my body is affected by it, and I sometimes get these headaches. And a few days ago, it was super cold in Berlin. It was like, I don't know what temperature it was. We were in winter jackets and scarves, right? And today it's like super hot, and we're in t-shirts, and it's just completely extreme. And just today, just not feeling 100%. But so I might not make this a too long one, just to let everyone know. But I will. I'll do my best, and I still really enjoy doing this. And we'll continue through. So I'll look at the benefits. I mean, there's loads of benefits to using open tunings. I've got a few here. So it creates different possibilities. It's like this, the possibilities thing. It's of the just like being in DADGAD, having the option to have all these strings here, and also the possibilities of a modal tuning as well, like DADGAD, that I can play in both major and minor, keys. Just gives me so many possibilities, the tonal possibilities. So it's all of this. This is what I mean by different possibilities. And it gets us out of the usual shapes that we know. So, I mean, right now, I've kind of learnt new shapes in DADGADs just because I've been playing them so long. But if I was in something that a new alternate tuning, I wouldn't be thinking about the usual shapes that I always play in, So, and that can be a really very freeing thing, kind of getting back to that childlike playing again, if like the way a child picks up an instrument and just goes completely crazy on it and just absolutely enjoying it and not caring about the sound. It's this kind of thing, that is what I mean by childlike, getting back to that childlike experimentation. It's that experimentation that it kind of brings back, because you're not going to your default kind of riffs and default chords and default shapes, that you know. So it can be a great way of just getting rid of that. So that's another benefit. Number 3 is it makes playing certain things easier. So, I tend to choose keys that have lots of D's and G's in, right? If I'm in Dadgad, so then I can use these open strings to my advantage, right? Like this song that I just played. I'm playing lots of open strings. Lots of G's, lots of D's, because I'm in G minor. And I do the same thing if I was playing in A minor. Oh. Or if I was in D minor or D major, so it definitely does make playing certain things easier in that respect. Number 4, it gives us a sound. So it gives an overall kind of sound, especially if you're using the key that the actual tuning is in, if you know what I mean. The kind of the home key, which is D major or D minor in Dadgad. Definitely has this certain sound, especially D major in Dadgad. It's whenever I hear things like that, I'm like, I know that's Dadgad. So it's this sort of stuff. So it definitely gives a certain sound to your playing. And then lastly, that I can come up with, at least with the benefits, number 5 is it inspires. It inspires you, It inspires me. I'm sure it inspires most of you that play alternate tunings. One of the things that I like to do when I'm feel like I'm in a rut and I feel like I haven't come up with any new ideas for a while is I look for different tunings and I explore different sounds. And I don't necessarily, it's not like I'm necessarily going to then play in that tuning. It's kind of more just for inspiration. Because if you know me at all, if you know this channel, I play a lot of stuff in Dadgad. So what I do is I would come up with something in a completely different tuning, and then I'd try and play that similar thing in Dadgad. And even though it wouldn't have the same sound because different tunings have different sounds, I would still get that it's more just about getting the inspiration and creating something out of that, and then I can use that to create a song in Dadgad, for example, or another tuning in standard tuning, or in a C tuning, for example. So I try not to use too many. I mainly play in Dadgad, standard tuning, and a few C tunings. So C, G, C, G, C, D I use a lot. And a few sort of variations on that as well. But I love modal tunings, and where modal tuning is that it doesn't have a third in, so there's no major or minor sort of influence in there, so you can play in both different keys, major and minor. So I really enjoy having that possibility, unless I'm playing my lap steel or my dobro style resonator, lap slide, then I would probably play in like D minor or C minor or something like that. And we are doing a live stream just on slide in a few weeks, so keep an eye out for that one. But let me know in the comments. Let me know what the benefits are for you about using alternate tunings. Just out of interest. We'll go here. Bum, bum, bum. All right, and we'll talk about the negatives now. Negatives. There are a few negatives for sure. There are a few negatives to playing alternate tunings. It's not all amazing and great. It's number one is it's hard not to sound like that tuning, you know. So especially if you're using the home keys again, you know, for me playing in D major, it's really hard for it not to have that kind of sound, you know. Using these fifths. It's very, very tempting because there's so many open strings available. It's very tempting to sort of just fill it with that, and it sounds great. It is, you know, I could do this all day. But it definitely has this sound which influences what I play, you know. And this is something that Pierre Bensusan was talking about, that he found that the tuning was playing him, had too much influence on what to play next, you know. So he hit this brick wall when he was playing, that he talks about, and that got him to really learn Dadgad, like really learn it, so that he can play in many different keys, and just make it sound how he wants it to sound, and for the tuning not to have too much influence on his playing. So that's what he talks about mainly, which I agree with. I mean, sometimes I'm quite happy for it to have influence on me, you know, on the playing. I think it's kind of it's a positive and it's a negative, you know. Depends on how much you want that to happen, you know. How much influence do you want the tuning to have on your playing? If you want it to have lots of influence, you know, by all means, you know, use all these open strings. But if you don't, then it might be worth kind of learning some chord shapes, learning some where the notes are, different keys, you know, things like this. Number 2 for negatives, I have, it's kind of the same thing. Tuning plays itself. So like I said before, it's a lot of the time when I'm playing in this, or even in minor, it's kind of playing itself, because I know it's again that kind of thing of I'm very familiar with it, so I kind of know where all these, I go to that familiar place, you know. And I mean, it's something that I would like to, that's what I like to improvise a lot, is I try and kind of push myself to explore in different areas that maybe I'm not as comfortable in, you know. So that's why I really enjoy improvising. So yeah, kind of can play itself. And number 3, I have to learn the fretboard again. So the more tunings you use, the more you have to learn, basically. The more fretboards you have to learn. I mean, there's things like as Dadgad is, you know, there's 3 strings that are the same as standard tuning, you know, so you can transfer that over, which really helps a lot, I find, with certain things. Like a lot of shapes are actually very similar, not always, but just when using these 3, like if I'm playing a C chord, still kind of looks like a C chord. An A chord still kind of looks like an A chord a little bit. Stuff like this, you know. So yeah, having to learn more when you're using, the more tunings you're using, and that's kind of the amount of negatives I got up to. I didn't really have any more, but if anybody out there has any other kind of drawbacks or negatives to using alternate tunings, then let us know. Many Vibes says, with an EBO too? How do you mean, Many Vibes? What do you mean there? On using an EBO with Dadgad with alternate tunings? I have an EBO. I'm not going to get it because it's somewhere in my drawers, lost. But I do have one, and I do use it actually mainly on my lap steel. I don't really use it that much on my acoustic. Anybody else use EBOs? I sometimes like to do some really kind of a bit abstract music, and that's really good for doing kind of ambient abstract kind of stuff, with the EBO and the lap steel. That's really nice. But I haven't really explored using an EBO with this sort of stuff. But maybe that's something I could explore. Or I don't know. Does that help? I don't know. Maybe you could explain that. Or maybe you're talking to someone else there. Many Vibes. I've just got the questions here. Maybe I'll go back into the main chat, and then maybe I don't get it because there's been a thread. Hold on. Hey Pete, how's it going? Pete says, is Dadgad conducive to writing jazz songs? I think it could be, absolutely. I mean, Pierre Benson does. I've said his name about 10 times now, but he does very jazz influenced stuff. You know, you can play any type of music with Dadgad. It really is very, very versatile, I find. I mean, you can do anything with any alternate tuning, any type of music. I'm definitely not a. My jazz knowledge is very, very limited. Although I really, really enjoy improvising, but I wouldn't say I was knowledgeable on the subject of jazz. But absolutely, I would say you can use Dadgad for jazz songs. Although once, you know what, I did a cover of a jazz song once. I can't even remember what it's called. Which one I did now? Got to try and find that, which is useless at this point if I can't remember which one it was. And that was in Dadgad. So you can absolutely, you can play all the jazzy chords. You can still play them in Dadgad. Yeah, hope that answers that. Let me go back into the chat box here, and maybe I can see what that Ebo thing was all about. Bum, bum. Should go rest, Fabian. Yeah, I should do, shouldn't I? Pete says, I almost exclusively use Dadgad both for instrumentals and my comedy songs. Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, definitely worth, if you are using alternate tunings, to really try and learn those tunings, Yeah, I'm not sure what the Ebo thing was about. If you're talking about Dadgad, you got to talk about Benson. Yeah, absolutely. I just like Ebos and saw on your website that you sometimes use it. When you mentioned the slide live stream, I was hoping you could include it. Yeah, for sure. I didn't think about that, actually. Thanks for mentioning that, Many Vibes. Yeah, I could definitely include the Ebo, because I think what I'll do is I'll do a bit of sort of bottleneck stuff, although I haven't done a huge amount of bottleneck stuff in the past, but I'd like to do more of it. So I think it's the slide one will be aimed at people maybe just starting out with slide and want to learn a bit more about it. I wouldn't say I'm a massively advanced player, but definitely anyone that's interested in slide could join, and it could be fun. And I'll show you the lap steel as well, and some Ebo stuff we can do with it, and also the resonator as well. Yeah, for sure. All right, what I'll do, I'm gonna do one more song, and then I'll do some last sort of landing the plane comments, and any last questions anybody has as well. Make sure that I drink lots of water. It's the best thing for a headache, and an early night as well. All right, here we go. I know I play this one like almost all the time. And anybody that comes to my live streams regularly will know this. This is The River. I know I play this a lot. But I really enjoy playing this because I quite like having the capo up high because up higher the frets are closer together, you know. So I can access a lot more notes a lot easier and a lot quicker. So I really enjoy improvising when I have the capo up high because I can just get access to a lot more notes, which I really like. Not have to move my hand too much. This one again is in the key, if you're not including the capo, it's in the G minor fingering. This sort of bass line moving down, I really enjoy. I use this a lot. And it's really, really simple because it's just using this bass line, and then I'm using a lot of basically open strings, you know. And then improvising. I'll put a bit of reverb on the vocals and then we'll get started. Here we go. This is The River.
She's a drunk, middle-aged mom. She had children when she was too young. Now is something you might be surprised. 3 different kids from 3 different guys. She spends her time drinking away, drinking special beer every day. How did she end up this way? People walking past would say, down by the river you may find nothing but tit and tat. Here at the river we all are just a bunch of He's a drunk, he's an old man, an old bolter that used to have plans. Now all he has is a very long beard, keeping him awake. Oh, all these tears. He has one friend in all the world, his old dog with the long grey curls. He never sees the light of day, just waiting for time He's a dad, he's a nice guy, a young father that doesn't know why. He can't see his poor little son, cause all these things this kid's mother has done. He has no money, no job, he'd do anything to earn a few bob. Look at him and you might judge that all he feels for his son is love. Down by the river you may find nothing but tears and tide. Here at the river we all are just a bunch of river rats.
That was The River. So there at the end, you know, I like to do improvising. But the bass line, the tricky thing with that song is that the bass line is moving quite fast, you know. Plus I'm doing these open D and G strings. This kind of stuff. So if you were thinking about, like, if this was on a piano, that would basically be my left hand going on there, you know. And my right hand would be doing like the high stuff. So I'm trying to kind of, at the same time, I need to be switching my fingers using the bass line, moving very fast. I'm trying to think about which notes I want to hit. Obviously, I'm very limited because I've got to use certain fingers for the bass line, so I can only use certain fingers. So I can't really move very much. So that's why I like to have the capo up so high. It's because the frets are closer together. My fingers can access more notes basically without having to stretch too far. You know, maybe that's the furthest I could go. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun when you have the freedom to improvise, you know, and you know, basically just go through and you know which notes that you're gonna be using. So then it's just a matter of like, okay, which notes can I reach? And sometimes I like to push myself to okay, I can't. I often mess up, you know, which I don't know if you noticed. I definitely messed up a few times on that. But that's okay, you know. That's kind of part of it, and I think you gotta kind of not be afraid to just completely mess up, because we don't get to these levels, in terms of musical, you know, finding this level where you're just improvising and you're discovering something, and especially if it's live, there's something, you know, magical about that. Anyway, I'm gonna end this with, just as we're landing the plane. So if you have any more, I'm just gonna look at the questions one more time, but I just want to mention, so as we kind of button everything up, I don't know what expression that is, but I just made that up. Is this cheating? Is using alternate tunings cheating? I don't think so, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. But then if you go that far, then where does it end? You know, if you just say using alternate tunings is cheating, then what's cheating and what's not? I don't like to look at music as a competition, so nothing is cheating really. You know, is using a digital instrument on a song, is that cheating? You know, that could be considered cheating because it's not an actual instrument. You're just kind of hitting buttons and stuff. You know, where does it end? Where does it end? If you make a recording and you mess up a little bit in the middle, and then you just cut that out and replace it, do another take and just stick that in there, which I'd say like a lot of people do. That's very common. You know, is that cheating? Could be considered cheating. I don't like to think in some things are cheating and not cheating. You know, it's all just about what's the end result here. You know, doesn't matter what tuning you're using, doesn't matter how you're getting to that place. What's that end result, and does it sound good? You know, I mean, you know, maybe if we were to look at just recently, if we were to look at AI, maybe introduce AI in this, maybe I would say AI is cheating because it's a computer generating the song. But you know, this is a discussion we could talk about forever. You know, I kind of that's my approach to it anyway. So I'll look at the last few if there's any more questions just before I go, just before we end it. It's not cheating. Using a pick is cheating. Nice. I like it. All right. Thanks everyone. Yeah, sorry I had to kind of leave this a bit short. I would love to continue, but I'm not feeling 100%. But and it's important for me to get my rest, and you know, so I can continue on for the next one. But yeah, thanks everyone so much. You know, I'm always really amazed how many people turn up to these live streams, because I really don't expect anyone to turn up. So it's very cool that I get to hang out with all of you, and we can do this together. You know, like always, if you haven't signed up to the I would say it's a mailing list, but really it's a community. And a mailing list. I send out emails, I send out videos, and I talk about what's coming up in the live streams and kind of my thoughts and stuff like this. So if you're interested in that, then just click the link below. I've started doing competitions as well. Maybe I'll do something like I get sent stuff by companies, like pedals and stuff. Maybe I'll start doing competitions where you could win a pedal, or who knows. Just sign up to my to the email just down below. It's completely free. And we've got a Discord, we've got a Facebook group. I'd love for you to join. Thanks everyone so much, and yeah, I'm gonna end it here. Thanks again, and I will see you all in the next live stream. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.